Welcome back to Press Party. The media fail of the week goes to Time magazine. They are once again succeeding in getting attention for a cover that's stirring up a lot of controversy. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is the cover man, and right at the bottom corner, the words "the elephant in the room." That's enough to make anyone draw in your breath, but it was no mistake. The Times editor is standing by his decision.
Well, he's obviously a big guy. He's obviously a big Republican, but he's also done a really huge thing here this week. He's astride the Republican Party and said, stop. We don't have to make our whole appeal about narrow base issues.
Time magazine knew what they were doing when they wrote this, "The elephant in the room."
Of course they did, yes.
Yes, this sells, like you were saying, this sells magazines.
I mean, I know Mike Duffy's a good reporter. He's been a reporter for a long time now
The
with
story's
Time magazine.
great.
It's actually good for Time magazine because people are actually paying attention to them, which pretty much nobody does. As Jon Stewart pointed out, he did like a whole monologue on this, which is hilarious. The only way you read Time magazine now is like if you're in your dentist's office or something.
Yeah, and to Chris Christie's response to this was very professional. He basically said, you know, if I was sensitive about my weight and the jokes about my weight, I wouldn't be in politics. And then he said, I really liked the publicity. It was good to, you know, the story was fine and things of that nature. It shows you that they were reaching for an audience, I think, and trying to be relevant. They think they're being cute with the pun, and reality is really shouldn't have been done.
Yeah.
It just makes you uncomfortable.
They wouldn't have done it
right?
with a woman candidate,
no,
probably.
that would have been absolutely awful. So
Right.
I think it should be awful.
I think it's important to note to viewers that the journalist writing the article is not the journalist writing the headline. Right? And so that oftentimes gets very confused when someone picks this up on the newsstand. Right? So the article doesn't even reflect the headline.
It doesn't allude once to his weight, and that's what the editor says. Oh, we're not trying to do that.
I can't believe that's not
obviously
believable.
You are.
Yes, obviously they are, and they should just admit it and say we're trying to have some fun. Chris Christie does make fun of himself, but again, I don't think a respected magazine like that should be making fun of people's weights. They probably, like I said, wouldn't do it with another person.
I have to think that writing headlines is probably one of the most fun sides to news reporting, right?
It's also the toughest.
It is the toughest, but and so here you had like this triple play, right? So it's the Republican Party, it's the Republican Party not knowing what to do with this candidate who's sort of like an outlier, and then of course there's their weight. And I think it's like when they saw those three things in alignment, they just jumped on it and said, "Poof, we got it."
I think I don't have a problem with it at all. I mean, if Chris Christie was a sensitive guy and really tried to stand up for people that were overweight and tried to say, you shouldn't bully me, and he was that type of a guy, fine. He's not. Okay, he lives in New Jersey, which is like such a tough, soprano, type of a place. I don't think he has a problem with it. I think he welcomes the criticism. It gets himself more press coverage, and he's thankful to Time magazine for doing this because we're all talking about him today.
The polling aspect has been very interesting. Within the last week, this article and his win, he's jumped from being 10 points down to Hillary to 1 point ahead in the polls, 43-42.
Yeah, it's good for him. I agree with Jacqueline. I don't think it's the biggest thing in the world, but I mean, you look at the silhouette of him. It's obviously they're trying to make him look fat. Just calling them elephant. I can't believe they should have just acknowledged it.
Right. Well, that's all the time we have. I mean, as they say, any press is good press. Thanks to everyone on our panel, the crew, and students here at Suffolk University's Studio 73 for Press Party and the Boston Herald. I'm Katie Eastman. Stay here on bostonherald.com for all your news.